This is Robert Kraft, and I'm your host on SNN Network. And joining me right now is David Kratochvil. He is the president and CEO of BQE Water Inc. It's a publicly traded company. I got two symbols for you: BQE on the TSX Venture and BTQNF in the US. And BQE will be presenting at our upcoming virtual event, the SNN Network Canada virtual event, happening December 7 through 9, 2021. To register and see that presentation, please go to canada.snn.network. And with that, David, thank you so much for joining me today. How are you doing?
Great. Thank you for having me.
It's great to have you. So this is our first time doing an interview together. So can you start us off with a quick overview and history of BQE, and then we'll go from there?
Yes, certainly. So the company is really focused on, has always been focused on the management and treatment of mine waters, wastewater from mining, and metallurgical processing and smelting, metal refining. We've been in business over 20 years, 21 years, in fact. And initially, when the company went public, we had a particular technology for removing and recovering valuable metals from waste. That technology is still there. We still use it. But the company really focused on commercializing that one technology and deployed a commercial model where, we would invest capital in these plants that would be recovering valuable metals from waste, and then pay back the capital basically from the value of the commodities that we recovered. And I guess over the years, as you can imagine, this business model first looked brilliant, but then didn't quite pan out. Because prices of commodities change, and deploying your own capital to build treatment plants at remote sites owned by someone else, that's a tricky affair. So it took us a while, to go through iterations of business models, the right business models, and at the same time we continued developing new technologies. Now we have a really nice suite of technologies that address all of the main sort of critical key areas in mining. So it's not just recovery of value from waste, but environmental compliance. That's super important right now for us. And sulfate, selenium, tailings, water treatment, all of those things. And we're not deploying our own capital. We're a service provider. So we get paid for all the services we provide. But the emphasis on recurring revenue from operating these treatment plants, that remains the same. So we're very much focused on long-term operating contracts with recurring revenue.
So what would you say makes BQE unique and different compared to some of your peers out there?
Well, a number of different things. I think the first one really is the unique know-how and IP in our technologies that definitely stand out. So, by way of an example, we don't really chase every project. We don't bid on these projects that have 5, 6 bidders. Over 2/3 of our work is sole sourced. So we're basically the only company doing it. And the reason for it is because our unique technology provides an advantage that no one else can provide. We like those situations. We focus on these projects. Our entire business development and sales are focused on identifying those types of opportunities, and we go after them. So that's definitely one thing that differentiates us. But there is a whole host of other things. One is that we really are uniquely combining our design, our consulting, sort of permitting assistance, with the operation of treatment plants. So, mines these days have very long mine lives, and it takes a long time to get them through permitting. It takes a long time for them to close. So the time horizon for each project in mining, it spans decades, quite often over 50 years. And the fact that we combine all these different types of services, we can really help these mining companies in every stage of the mine life cycle. And so that makes us unique because our competitors either play in the area of the capital spending, the engineering service, or the consulting, environmental consulting upfront. And yes, there are some companies that do operations, but rarely would you see an entity in this space that would combine all these services in one.
Very good. And what's your background? I mean, how'd you come into all this?
Yeah, so I'm a chemical engineer by background, and I really got into the space when I was doing my doctorate at McGill, and the project was focused on removing toxic heavy metals. And it was actually an interesting one where, and a link to our business in China too, indirectly, where it was basically trying to remove and recover heavy metals from waste using another waste. And in the case of my research back then, it was really types of biomasses that the Chinese pharmaceutical industry, back then growing tremendously in antibiotics production, was really churning out, and using that sort of material for sequestering and recovering heavy metals was very appealing to them. So that got me into the space, and then I got connected to the environmental consulting side here in Vancouver. I worked for a company called Rescan Environmental that later became ERM, one of the largest consultancies in the space. And then later on, I joined BQE Water at the start. So I was number 4 employee in 2001.
Very good. Well, to close us out here today, before I let you go, from what you can tell us, what would you say are some of BQE's value catalysts now going into 2022?
Well, I think it's really exciting time for us for a number of reasons. The entire space is, as you probably all your viewers, investors understand, decarbonization means we need to get metals to out of the ground to build batteries, build electric vehicles. That sort of lift is provided to the entire mining sector. At the same time, part of our technology, one of our technologies, is focused on recycling cyanide, which is used in gold, precious metal production, extraction. And again, your viewers probably understand the importance of precious metals and gold in particular these days in the overall monetary and fiscal situation that the Western world finds itself in. So I think the mining sector is really on the upswing. We have critical technologies such as the cyanide recycle, such as selenium control. Those are technologies that the mining companies need to secure social acceptability of their projects. Make no mistake, social acceptability is not a given. License to operate is not given. And really, these environmental cleanup technologies are super important, gaining in importance every day. At the same time, we have basically a very solid pipeline of projects. So we expect our recurring revenue from operations to increase dramatically next year as we bring 2 new plants into operation in Q1, Q2 next year. And overall, it's just a very exciting time for us.
Very good. Well, David, with that, where can our audience go and find more information on BQE Water?
Yeah, just go on our website, bqewater.com. We also have a pretty good blog on the website. Recently, we won an award of the BC Engineering Association Environmental Award for our selenium technology that was recognized this year. And there was a short video that the association did with me, like an interview. Invite everybody to watch that one. It's posted on the website. Check out our blog, check out our financials, and look forward to seeing some of you attend our presentation.
Very good. Well, with that, David, thank you so much for joining me today. I really do appreciate it. Good luck. Stay safe. I look forward to our next update.
Great. Thank you, Rob.
Thank you.